Welcome back to the Chicago Tomahawk. I'm Mike. Got Matt up top, Justin on the bottom, and we're back. So if you have not had a chance to listen, we did a interview with Jay Kahn from Sirius XM Radio on The Point with Boomer. You should check that out. We released that on Monday. This coming Monday, we have an interview with Dave Hansen from Slapshot. You definitely want to check that out. Check him out on cameo.com as well. He does a great job. And we're going to talk some hockey. But first, if you could do us a favor, hit subscribe, give us a like, and maybe a comment and a review. And it would be great for us. So here we go. Hawks are out of the playoffs. We're going to talk playoff hockey. And we're going to be releasing videos on Mondays and Thursdays covering the NHL playoffs. And it's going to be great. So, Justin, what do you got for us today, man?
All right, let's break it down. So I figure we'll go series by series. We'll see who's got the hot takes of who's going to win and who's not. But all right, so we'll start in the East. We got Pittsburgh and the Islanders. I will admit I'm kind of hoping the Islanders win this series. I don't know if they can, but I think Barry Trotz's defensive style, if he can shut down Sid the Kid, we'll see what happens. It depends too how Pittsburgh's goaltending is. I think is it. Tristan, what's their goaltender's name? Jari, thank you. He's been doing fairly well, and I mean it's Pittsburgh. You can never count them out. But I'm going to be a little controversial here. I'm going to say Islanders in 6.
Wow.
Yeah. I figure we'll start off with a bang. I'm gonna be the wild one here. Matt, what do you got for the Islanders and Pirates series? Pirates, man. Oh man, I'm way off. Penguins, sorry. Oh boy.
This is a tough one. I think the playoffs are a lot of goaltending. I got to give it to Varlamov, so I'm going to go Isles in 7.
Wow. I'm going Islanders in. And you know what? I'm gonna buck the trend. I'm gonna go contrarian. I'm gonna go with Pittsburgh in 6.
Wow. Okay.
I think Crosby still has it.
He does.
He's one of the best to ever put on skates, man. And if he's at a point in his career where winning a cup probably means more to him than ever, because he probably knows that the chances, they could be fading away. Especially, speaking about goaltending, they gave up Fleury because, they had Matt Murray. Now he's gone, and, their goaltending. Or is Matt Murray still in Pittsburgh?
No, I think he's in Ottawa.
Yeah, that's what I thought. And he's gone. So their goaltending's in question. They used to have a Letang on the blue line. They had Fleury, and they had Crosby and Malkin. That's what anchored that team. Mm-hmm. And actually, Phil Kessel played a very big role in the last two cups as well.
Chris Kunitz too.
Yeah. Chris Kunitz. Yeah, he showed up in the playoffs. Man, what a Chris Kunitz, man. I always felt like that guy was in the right place at the right time.
Yes, he was.
Playing with the right player, Yep. And he definitely benefited from it. But I've got the Penguins in 6.
All right. Now the other East, this is the battle of the two most unlikable players in the entire NHL right now. This would be the battle between Tom Wilson and Brad Marchand. I'm gonna go Boston in 5 on this one. I just think Washington's not getting any younger. Ovechkin is still a good player. Don't get me wrong, and he can score with the best of them. But he is probably the best scorer that we've seen in last decade or two, right? So I'd say Boston in
Debatable.
5. Yeah, debatable. I'd say Boston in 5. I think having Taylor Hall on the team is just gonna put them over the edge, and I can't wait to see the antics between Marchand and Wilson. And if someone doesn't get licked, I'm gonna be very disappointed. So we'll see what happens. Matt, what about you on that one?
I have Boston in 7 because I think that Taylor Hall trade was huge for Boston. They got 2 good scoring lines now. Boston honestly has 3 solid goalies they can go with. I know Rask has been good, Halak has been good, and this new kid, I'm sorry, I don't know his name, but they think he's going to be taken over soon. And like you said with Washington, they're getting older. I think Ovechkin's got an injury. They're not really saying much about it.
It's not perfect, yeah.
This team is Boston. They know how to win. Bergeron's a great leader, great, solid two-way guy. Big fan of him. And I think they should close it out. Maybe before 7, but I'm going to say 7 to be safe.
I'm going to say Boston in 5. I think that Taylor Hall might be the missing piece for this team that gives them that's solid scoring touch. They just need him to be out there and scoring goals, man. And they need Bergeron to be out there doing what he does, to be honest with you, just being out there. And I think it's as simple as that. Washington, yeah, they won a couple years ago, but they've been perennial chokers for the most part of their past existence. So it really doesn't matter how many goals that Ovechkin scores because they lost more with him scoring than they've ever had with him winning, at least in the playoffs.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, I'll be curious to see how it goes. I think I could definitely see it be a physical series as well, and just seeing, who takes it further over the line between the two teams, but should be a good one. Next series we got in the Central, we got Carolina and Nashville. I'm going to go Hurricanes in 4. I think this is a case of Nashville made it to the party. It's like, hey, thanks for coming. Now get the hell out. You don't belong here. I think Carolina's just going to steamroll them. I think they're ready to go. I think the last couple seasons of their progress has been building to this. Their goaltending has been lights out this year. Brindamore has got those guys jumping through walls for him. I think it's go time for Carolina. So I'm gonna go with a clean sweep on that one. Matt, how you feeling about Carolina and Nashville?
This is a tough one because I think Nashville has been playing in playoff mode for
yes, they have
months.
Yeah.
And we've seen this before where the last seeded team gets in, like the Kings, and they make it to the final.
A run.
I hate Nashville so much. I'm not gonna pick them, but I can see them spoiling,
causing some
the
problems.
Hurricanes
Maybe
on this. Yes, but I'm gonna go Canes in 6. But this could be the dark horse, the Nashville, just surprising everybody.
Oh
though.
man, that would be rough if that's the case.
I am going with the Canes in 5, simply because Nashville will find a way to shit the bed. They have been in playoff mode, just like you said, for the better part of maybe the last few months. And so how much more do they have left? Probably not much. So I'm going with Nashville I'm going with the Canes in 5. And to talk about the Canes can be down, but they're never out. They always find a way to come back. They always find a way to fight back, and they have a solid lineup all the way up and down from the top down. So
solid coach too.
Yeah,
He's
they have a really good coach.
Yeah.
I will say that Nashville has really good goaltending, and your goaltending can take you a very long way. But other than their goaltending, I don't think that they have much. So to use your term there, Justin, I think they showed up to the party with a 6-pack and they need a keg.
Yeah, and it's going to be like some light beer that nobody wants. That's why they're getting kicked out really quick.
Right.
Old Milwaukee Light.
Yeah, there you go.
Whole
Ice House, something like that.
Sub Natty Light, the worst that you can get.
Bud Ice.
$3.99 for a 30-pack.
The Penguin. All right. We're switching over now in the Central. We got the Battle of Florida. We got the Panthers and the Lightning. This one, I'm going to go with my heart on this one. I have no problem with Tampa. I think they're a great team, but I would love to see Florida finally win a playoff series. I think the last time they won a playoff series was when they made their cup run in 96, right? Does that sound right? I think I want to say it's been at least 20-something years since they've had a winning playoff.
Avs, right?
Yeah, against the Avs.
Scott Mellenby.
Yes, and the Beezer,
Jovo.
John Van Beesbrook, and Jovo.
Van Beesbrook.
I think, was that Jovo's rookie year? It might have been.
Might
have been. So I mean, it'd be cool. Obviously, seeing Q do his thing in Florida would be awesome. The only concern I have. Okay, so I'm going to say Panthers in 6. No, Panthers in 7. I think it could go 7. But the only concern I have is if they start Bobrovsky over Spencer Knight, and I could see them starting Bob, having some trouble, giving him a second game. He still has some trouble because he's, had been up and down this season. And then they go back to the kid, and then it's on the kid to try and win it for him. And that could be a problem. So I'm going to say Panthers in 7. Matt, what about you?
This is another tough one. Do you guys remember when Bob and the Jackets swept the Lightning?
Yes.
A couple of years ago?
That was awesome, by the way.
Yeah. And that team was, what did Tampa finish with, like 120 23 points or
They
something.
might have been a
that year,
President's
100
Trophy winner that year, right?
They were, yeah, the jinx of the President's Trophy, yeah. But I think with Stamkos, healthy Stamkos, hopefully, and a Kucherov coming back, we know he's, he hasn't played hockey for almost a year now, but he's an MVP. He's a great elite player. I think Tampa's just got too much. Victor Hedman's a beast. I think I could see them winning in 6, Tampa.
I think Hedman's going to be a key to this whole series, how he plays. So
Yeah,
And they got 4 lines that could score, and we played both of them a lot. I would prefer to, if say the Hawks made it, I would rather play the Panthers than
I
the
could
Lightning.
see that. I could see that.
I just think the matchups were better for us that way. But I think Tampa in 6.
I'm going with Florida in 5. I think that Q knows Tampa. He knows their weaknesses. He knows how they play. Well, because we beat him in the Stanley Cup final once.
He doesn't have Kane, Michael.
No, he does not have Kane, but he has Alexander Barkov, and Alexander Barkov is a bad man. He's a very good player. He from top down, the team seems to be very solid. You have guys who can hit, guys who could play, guys who could score, guys who could skate. They have goaltending. Tampa Bay, they're all show. They've got some grit, and they throw around the Hawks a couple games, but what does that mean? It doesn't mean much at all. As a matter of fact, they got shut out by the Florida in their last game that they played in the season, and Tampa sucks. So Florida in 5.
I think I see steam coming out of Matt's ears. I can't tell.
I got a toy Stanley Cup over here. I was gonna grab it and be like, "Well, isn't Tampa on here?" Never seen
But
Florida
they also
Tampa twice.
Yeah, but they've been wanting to win a Stanley Cup for like the past freaking 10 years, dude, and they did it one time. And they've had the same team, the same guys on their squad for like the past 8 years. Stamkos leading them the whole way when he's not on the injury report.
Okay, but what about the Panthers?
What? Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, you got to start somewhere, man. You can't win every year.
Barkov's been there for years, dude.
Yeah, he's been there for years, but I mean, I think that they're better built than Tampa.
We will see, man. We will see.
I'm telling you,
until
man,
they win a playoff series,
Tampa,
we could talk a little more shit.
Tampa is all show, and they've got and Florida's got a good coach. I'm not saying Tampa. I'm not saying
the show.
I'm not saying Tampa's got a bad coach. I'm saying that
Cooper's the man.
I think
I would take Cooper in a heartbeat over.
I think Florida is. I think Florida's going to take it in 5.
Now it's going to be good. Now
it's going to be the Victor. It's going to be the Victor
Kucherov
Hedman show. It's going to be the Victor Hedman show in Tampa, and that's all that it's going to be.
Wow. All right, we gotta get a
Patrick
timestamp on
Maroon,
this one.
2-time Cup champion.
Yeah, he sucks.
Come on.
Oh,
I love that guy on this team.
All right. Well, on that note, it's going to be a good series no matter what. I think that's definitely
that's going to be the good one.
The good one. Yeah.
We should take bets on how long it takes for them to take Stamkos out on the stretcher.
Oh man.
Well, someone's going to sneeze and he's going to get hurt, according to Mike.
That's true. Oh boy. All right. The next we're gonna go to the north. I will admit, next podcast when the series start, I will have one of my Maple Leafs jerseys on, probably the one Matt sent me. But Toronto and Montreal. Toronto has a habit of choking when they're the favorite, but I'm hoping this is the year they finally break through. That being said, I think Montreal could still give them trouble, even though they're not nearly as strong as they have been in the past. I would say Maple Leafs in 6. And if their goaltending is strong and Jack Campbell keeps playing the way he has, I could see it being over quicker. But, for a guy that hasn't maybe played a ton of playoff games like Campbell hasn't, and not knowing where Anderson is still, I know he was still doing his games in the A. Yeah. We'll see what happens, but I'm going to say Toronto in 6. Matt, how you feel about that series?
So is that official? Campbell is the starter?
You guys talk. I'll find out. Last I heard, it was Campbell, but I could be wrong.
I was listening to The Point today, and Boomer was saying that, Campbell, it sounds like Campbell's in, and I just wanted to know if it was just smoke or...
That's what I've heard too. On their website right now, there is no mention of my boy Frederick Anderson.
That's huge pick for me.
Yeah.
But I think Toronto's gonna make it interesting. With I think they're gonna beat themselves more than the Habs beat them,
without a doubt. Yeah.
So I'm gonna go with the Leafs in 6. I don't know if you said 6 too.
Yeah,
but
Leafs in 6. Yeah.
I think they're gonna have some mistakes, and I think Anderson will work his way back in if Campbell has a bad game. I could see that happening.
It looks here, according to, what is this? This is the Star, which is the Toronto Star, which is the Canadian Toronto newspaper. It looks like they're saying he's going to be back in time for the playoffs. He had a game and a half conditioning stint with the Marlies. So, yeah, we'll see. It looks
he played against Ottawa yesterday, right?
Yeah, I believe
Anderson?
he did. So it looks
he
like
got beat.
he got beat. It looks like Sheldon Keefe is kind of keeping his cards close to the vest on this one. He hasn't named a starter yet, from what I can tell here, skimming this article. But we'll see. I don't know. I mean,
I'm going with the Leafs just because Matthews is on fire.
Yeah.
So I think he can be the difference maker.
Sure.
I'm going with the Leafs as well. We'll say, to be honest with you, man, it depends on which team shows up. I honestly believe if the worst form of the Leafs show up, that they could win this in 7 games. But if the best of the Leafs show up,
maybe
if
4.
everybody's contributing, if Matthews is still continuing to score and John Tavares finds a scoring touch, I mean, they can win this in 5 games. I mean, these are a lot of what ifs, but these are things that you need to take into consideration because historically, these guys haven't been showing up. So, I'm gonna go on a whim. I'm gonna say the Leafs in 5, and I'm gonna say that Mitch Marner has a hell of a series.
That would be great. I think you nailed it though, Mike. Like, for a team that is they're so well known for, you don't know in the playoffs who's gonna show up. Like, and they're tormented by the series of the past. Like, I'm just constantly reminded that the Boston Leafs series was at 2013, I think. It
was brutal.
I mean, that was rough.
I was texting you.
Yeah.
I remember sitting on my couch. I'm like, they got this dude, and
Yeah.
they freaking choked.
They did not have it. No.
Oh.
So we'll see. Like you said, Mike, I think they have a team that they could still pull it out in 7 if they're not bringing their best, but hopefully they turn it on a little bit. Last series in the North, we got Oilers and Jets.
Boo.
I was gonna say Oilers in 4, but the only thing that keeps me from saying a clean sweep is Hellebuck, right? Like, I mean, he's a spectacular goalie, so I'll give him a game. I'll say Oilers in 5.
Oilers in 5. What do you got, Matt?
I got the Oilers in 4. I think they're gonna sweep them just because they got some injuries over in Winnipeg. I think
they do.
Ehlers is hurt. Hellebuck's been struggling, and Pierre-Luc Dubois I think he's got 3 goals in like the last 2 months or something. So, you can't be cold against Connor and the German Gretzky. I think they're gonna sweep.
Yeah, I'll agree with I'll buck the trend a little bit. I'll go with 5, where maybe McGregor turns it down and takes a game off or something. But that's that they're gonna need to do because. You know what? Conor McGregor gets so much praise on this team, and like
McDavid.
Oh yeah, my boy McGregor. So McDavid gets so much.
Fuck's sake!
You should just let me go with it, bro.
I can't. Did you see me doing this?
I'm just watching that.
I love it, man. So, anyways,
just go with it. Conor McGregor in
Conor
4.
McGregor, the
4 rounds,
number 12.
Yeah.
So if gosh, I lost my freaking train of thought, man. Okay, McDavid gets so much praise on this team, man, and Draisaitl is such a key cog to this team being successful. If Draisaitl goes down, Edmonton isn't a playoff team. If McGregor goes down. If McDavid
I can't
goes
tell
down,
if he's doing it to mess with us now or not.
If McDavid,
I know the very first time he did that, he was making a mistake. Now I don't know either.
If McDavid
this
goes
guy's
down,
like
man,
the best player in the world.
He is,
He's
dude.
calling him the wrong name.
He is, man. But if he goes down, I think that there's a possibility that Draisaitl could carry the team. I think that he's just such a great player. But he's just in the shadow of McDavid. What do you guys think? Do you think Draisaitl is like talent wise? Do you think that he is, and how he produces and what he brings to Edmonton? Do
They
you
call
think
him the German Gretzky. He's
Yeah.
the best German ever to ever play.
Do you think, that McDavid would be as good if Draisaitl wasn't on the team?
Yes, I do.
I think, yeah, McDavid can make his own offense. I think you take Draisaitl and put him on any team in the eastern half of the league, he'd be a well-known superstar that everybody knows. Like, I feel like we know him because he's Draisaitl and he's awesome. And like Matt said, he's the German Gretzky. But like, I think when people think Edmonton, they're like, oh yeah, Connor. Damn it, now you got me doing it.
Yes.
Connor,
Yes.
Connor McDavid. Mike's plan is complete now. Everyone else is going to be referring to him as Connor McGregor. Yeah.
Connor Zadorov.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I refuse to say Zadorov.
I think McDavid can still do his own thing. I think Draisaitl, like you said, he's kind of in that shadow of McDavid, but I mean, with the two of them are a great combination. I think any team, any organization would want them. I mean, you would think they'd be able to carry a team, but we'll see what happens.
Here's another question. What about Ryan Nugent-Hopkins? You know, I think he's a pretty underrated guy, but I think that he brings something to the table too. If this guy can score, I think that Edmonton might be able to even go past the second round.
No way.
You don't think so?
No.
I'm not sold on Nugent Hopkins anymore. I think I bought into the hype when he got drafted, and granted, you know what though, to their credit, the team was garbage. So maybe that was a difference, but I don't know.
They had Hall, Nugent Hopkins. They had like 3 first-round picks in a row.
In a row, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to
And they had
remember who the
McDavid
third
here.
guy was. Oh, Nail Yakupov.
Yakupov, yeah.
Yeah.
He's a nut.
Talk about a bust.
Wow. Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah. So,
Well,
I
you
don't
guys know that Edmonton has the highest scoring defenseman, former Leaf last year,
Tyson Barrie.
I
Free
don't
agent
think he's
this year,
going to
too.
win. Yeah, Kenny Holland was on the radio on the way home today for me, and he said Connor McDavid called him to say, "Hey, we want you here this year," and he signed. And him and
Yes, sir.
Nurse have been really good together. And he didn't talk about an extension or anything, but I could see him signing back there because he kind of turned it around from disappointing with the Leafs.
yeah.
And he was really good in Colorado. I thought I was surprised they traded him. I think who did he get traded for? Was it Kadri?
I think you're. Yeah. It was Kadri that got sent there for Barrie.
Yeah, because I was surprised that they let him go.
Yeah, I was too. I really thought they would have held on to him, but no dice on that one. All right, it looks like I'm looking at the stats for NHL.com. There's 1:53 seconds left. Colorado's got a 4-goal lead. It's 5-1 against LA. So, do we want to just call it and say it's going to be Colorado and St. Louis in the West? Colorado, St. Louis. I'm going to say Colorado in 5. I could see Jordan Binnington falling apart and Colorado just smoking them. So I'm going to say Avs in 5. Matt, what about you?
This is tough. I once you get to the playoffs, the season doesn't matter, and I think that's what the Blues needed, just like a reset,
just to get in.
And I could see them an upset, and I'm actually going to go with the Blues in 7, just because all the playoff experience they have. I don't like the Blues, but they got some really good players that perform in the playoffs. McKinnon, though, if he gets going, I'm going to look very stupid. Yeah. So I'm going to go with the Blues in 7.
I'm going to go with Colorado in 7. The reason I'm going with Colorado in 7 is precisely what Matt said. The Blues just needed to make it in. They just needed to make it in, and they're going to make it interesting, and they're going to be pesty, and they're not going to want to die and go away. And if McKinnon shows up, then they're going to take it in 7. But it's going to be a really rough series for them because the Blues, I'll tell you what, man, I think the Blues are going to bring it. I don't like the Blues either, obviously.
Yeah, they're going to bring it.
But it's going to be rough for Colorado. This is probably a worst case playoff scenario for Colorado.
Yeah, I honestly would have played the backup. I'd like playing the Wild. Honestly, they don't have much experience in the
Yeah.
playoffs, and
Yep.
make it easier for yourself, and you can kind of control your destiny. I would have had McKinnon on the bench or scratched in the press box tonight. I would have had Saad and all those guys, those top six, Rankinen or
Taking a break,
whatever.
Ratnan.
Eating some lobster,
Rantanen, yeah.
lobster in the
Landeskog.
press
I'd
box.
have him. I prefer playing against the cold goalie right now in Minnesota. Talbot's not been good,
No.
so
No,
we will see.
Yeah, that's that last series would then be Vegas and Minnesota. I think Vegas has no problem going through Minnesota. Like, I think Minnesota, I could see this being Minnesota's like 08, 09 year for the Hawks, right? Like, they kind of get in, they look decent, but they don't have the experience yet, and then they come back with a vengeance next season,
Well, that 08-09 season, the Hawks made it to the to the Western Conference Finals.
Yeah, okay, that's a bad
They
example.
got blown out, though.
All right,
But
I take that back. The bad example. But yeah, I could see them
Good bounce back here for them.
losing this
Yeah.
series, Minnesota
Yeah.
losing this series, getting some experience, and then coming back next year and maybe making it to the conference finals or whatever. The other thing is too is all the divisions are going to be back to normal next year. So you have all these teams that really didn't play each other. That's going to be a huge factor.
Yeah.
With the seedings and how things fall. So I'm going to say Vegas in 5 on this one. Matt, how about you?
I got Vegas in 4. I think they're just too stacked. They're hungry. They've been hungry since their existence. They want it, and
Great
I think
goaltending.
I think that Fleury and Leonard are just gonna who's ever in net. It's not gonna matter because you got 2 really solid defensemen in Vegas.
Yeah.
You got Petrangelo who could play 30 minutes a game. You got the Theodore who plays 30 minutes a game. So if you think about it, one of those guys are going to be on the ice at all times, and they very good in their own end. I don't think they're going to have any problems. They got Mark Stone, great player. So I'm going
Clutch.
to go in 4.
yeah,
It's
Mark
going to be
Stone's
a sweep.
clutch.
Get the broom.
I'll go 5. Minnesota squeaks 1 out.
All right. Well, there's your playoff series for the 2020, 2021 season. So see what
Or
happens.
just the
2021 season. Sorry. It's been a really long year. What can I
Jeez,
say?
man. I was thinking like, holy smoke. Wow.
Yeah.
It's like 1 year. It's like baseball.
Yeah, it just goes on forever. and
Brutal.
ever and ever. So yeah, we'll see what happens. I'll be curious. I'm excited for it to start. Hockey every night, and that's all I got. So
I'm curious to see the stories that are going to come out. Are there going to be some teams that just come out of nowhere and they make it competitive? Because obviously that's what everybody wants to see. You do want to see teams getting blown out. I'm curious to see if anybody just shows up, we're completely off the mark, and they make it competitive. And I'm interested in seeing some playoff hockey, man, and maybe some playoff heroes that kind of like a Bickle type of player showing up that isn't on anybody's radar, but this guy's scoring overtime goals. So I'm just looking forward to some storylines, looking forward to some players, see what's going to be going on. Like I mentioned before, is are things going to end well for Taylor Hall in Boston? He's going to be like, yeah, you know what? I had a horrible experience here in the playoffs. I don't want to do this again. I'm gonna go somewhere else.
sure.
But
I think he needs that contract. I think the pressure is on Marchand, Bergeron, and Pasternak. Taylor Hall would be like the 4th guy, you'd say, right? If he were to sign somewhere else, he's going to be like, they want him to be the man. Some guys can't handle that pressure.
Yeah.
So I think this is a good fit for him.
Yeah.
But like we said before, if they're going to sign him, I mean, you're going to lose Rask for sure, because what do you think Taylor's going to get? At least 8, right? I mean, he
8 or 9.
got it this
8 or
year.
9, yeah.
If he scores, if he goes off and scores like 20 goals in the playoffs, he's going to get at least $9 million.
Yeah,
I mean,
without a doubt.
They better hope that this goalie that's coming up is the real deal, because Rask he's been there for what, since Tim Thomas was the starter,
It's,
and then
it's
Yeah.
going on a
Fury.
decade, yeah.
Yeah, so he's been the man there. So we will see.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm curious. Me and Matt were talking earlier about Jack Eichel and possibly talking about a move to the Hawks. And I find this one really intriguing to see how he would fit in with the Hawks. We'll just say a Hawks team that has Jonathan Taves, a healthy Jonathan Taves, and Kirby Doc, and I think that he would fit in well with. I think he'd fit in well with Patrick Kane. He has neck issues, doesn't he, Matt? He has a disc issue.
Yeah, I guess it was a disc. Yeah, I was so surprised when I heard of this. I texted you guys like instantly, and the guy, I forget his name. He was a Boston insider or Buffalo insider, and he honestly thinks his first pick was L.A. or even the Ducks. Wow. He was saying they got the assets to move, and to give Buffalo a good return. But then he said Stevie Y, and I think they're way under caps,
yes, they are.
Pretty much by the basement, right?
Yeah, I think you're right. And
then he said my sleeper team would be Chicago because they have the assets and the cap space now. So I don't know how I'd feel about it, but he thinks that we'd probably lose. I don't think we'd lose Doc, but he did say Bodequist. He said probably Strome, which
no problem.
Goodbye.
I will drive him there.
Yeah.
It's funny you know what, Matt? I said that to Jake. I said I'll drive the guys.
I'll give you my credit card, man, so that you could fill up on gas getting him out of here. Yeah.
Yeah. But I think it'd be a good fit, like you said, with Kane. I think anybody would be great with Kane and be excited. Hey, we want you to be Kane's center. Sign me up.
Sure.
It's crazy, just like how much of a train wreck the Buffalo organization is right now, though, right? Like
Unreal.
The fact, like when I first heard the story of him saying, I there's the chance that maybe he would. I don't think he said it, but there's always the chance he could sit out, even though he's got a contract. And I would be like, oh, dude, you signed the contract. It is, you knew what you were getting into.
Shitty.
But then you factor in the whole thing about him having this disc issue and wanting to get surgery, and Buffalo's telling him, no, you can't get surgery. That's like a negligence kind of thing. So
it is.
Well, do you know the real story though?
No, what's the real story?
No NHL player has ever gotten this type of surgery.
Oh, it's like experimental?
Most doctors are actually against it.
Oh,
and
okay.
Only 4 like UFC fighters have gotten the surgery, but I mean that's different than hockey. And I guess I didn't know this. Jack Eichel's mom is a nurse, and she has been pushing it too.
Oh wow!
So his camp wants the surgery,
right?
And the Sabres are like, we don't really have enough data on it to take a risk. Yeah. You're the man for us here, and so I could see like it's his body, but these guys are paying him all this money. It's risky. It's risky both ways.
Well, and I think that's going to hurt his trade. His trade wants or demand. No, I wouldn't even say it's a demand because I don't think he's made a formal demand yet. But like, if I'm the Hawks and I'm sitting here, if he comes here and his back or neck is so messed up, he needs to take time off from playing. You're losing that. You lost assets in trading for him. Now, granted, when you got 5 more years on his deal, so hopefully you're getting at least 4 years of an all-star caliber player. But there's a lot you'd have to take into account. That's for sure.
And is the Hawks going to let him get the surgery? You know what I mean?
That's
like
the thing, yeah.
Then he's going to be out again. So
exactly.
He's wasting time. What's what it is? They're wasting time right now, and I hope they figure it out soon.
Yeah.
Well, this is one of those things where you don't want if a player is like, look, this is what I want to do. I think that he should be supported by the organization because
sure.
I mean his health and welfare should be the number one thing for them. Yeah, I get it. They are paying him and they're paying him to play, but I mean he did get injured, on the job, so he should be supported by the organization. Especially if he's like, what, I don't like the way that this feels. It's in my head. I can't play like this. And his mom, in his ear too. That doesn't really help things much either because she's probably telling him, I don't want you playing, and you know how it is with
your health is more important.
Yeah. When it comes to that, as far as the Hawks are concerned, man, what could they do in a deal? Like, hey, look, man, this guy wants out. We know that. And we know that he's injured. You guys, we're not going to give up the farm for him.
Exactly.
And no GM is going to, especially with him pushing this surgery. Now the Hawks could say, hey, we got some of the best doctors in the world here in Chicago. we can get that taken care of. What is it? What surgeries your mom got? It's funny. We got a guy on staff that does that.
Yeah. They can make it work.
Yeah, we can make him. We can make him bring him back. So
I could see somebody getting him though, Mike. I could see a GM going all out for him. Like maybe even Doug Wilson. He takes risks. Some stupid ones. Carlson was just, what the frick were you thinking? And
brutal.
But the California team's got the money, and they need a guy they need the man there. I don't think the Getzlaf's old. He's not going to last long, and
he ain't got much.
They need a superstar.
Anaheim, I just don't know. I mean, their trajectory is it? Are they going to be a playoff caliber team by the time Eichel's contract is up? I don't know. That's the only thing that worries me about them. And then are we sitting here in 2 years where he's saying, I don't want to play here anymore because you guys aren't any great either, So
I could see Detroit being his best fit. Honestly, he's got Dylan Larkin to play with. You got some Stevie Y can draft. They're going to be good in a couple of years. They're going to be.
They could
good.
draft and develop.
Yeah.
You got a GM that's going to get the job done in Stevie Y. So,
wow, really interesting. Just the whole idea behind it. I wonder if Buffalo.
Do you
would
think a
hold
lot
some...
of it is just him tired of the bullshit? Like,
could be.
These guys want to compete in the highest levels, and didn't they lose like 17 games in a row? Was it?
Yeah.
I mean, he's like, come on.
He signed that contract. I get that, what you want to honor it, but like you're signing that contract thinking, okay, but my organization wants to win. They're going to put everything in place to help us win. What has that organization done to win? Like they've gone through coaches like a revolving door, bringing in guys that don't have any experience, bringing in guys that have some experience. The amount of GMs they've gone through, some of the guys, it's like, well, they're never getting another job because they handled this so poorly. And now you got Kevin Adams there. I mean, I know I remember when he was a Hawk for like half a season, maybe one season, something like that. And I mean, some of the trades he's done already, he's gotten fleeced already. So it's like, does this guy really know what he's doing? So,
well, he inherited that terrible Jeff Skinner contract.
God, what was that? Yeah.
Which looked good though. I mean, this guy scored 40 goals, and he's like, oh, he's only making like $8-9 million a year. That's pretty damn good. And he just bombed.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened to the guy. So he's got a mess.
Buffalo. Maybe we should be trading for Skinner, to be honest with you.
I think he only had 6 to 8 goals this year.
He had a bad season this year.
He was a healthy scratch, wasn't he?
Yeah, for a while. I'm telling you, it's
well,
like
yeah.
Go
ahead, Jeff. Sorry.
No, I was gonna say it's like anything. It's like radiation. Anything that comes into contact with Buffalo, you don't want to touch. It's just Thankfully, Hall didn't bring it with him to Boston, but I'd be very hesitant to do much with Buffalo.
Yeah.
Do you know who's been scratched for the past 5 games? I think Zach Parise on Minnesota.
Oh yeah.
That sucks, man. That guy must be like, what the hell happened to me?
Isn't he the captain?
No.
Oh, he's not.
Spurgeon.
Captain.
Jared Spurgeon.
Jared Spurgeon. That's right. Before it was
it was him
Koivu.
and
was it
Koivu weren't they revolving?
Mikko Koivu. Yeah.
Mikko Koivu was the captain. Yeah.
Yeah.
For like the past 18 years. He was there
I
forever.
think Parise had a C on though.
Did he?
I think
now
he did.
Now he's getting scratched. Yeah.
And then Koivu signed in Columbus, and he's like, I changed my mind.
Yeah, like Crawford did.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man. Parise, he kind of, I think he's gotten the injury bug too, hasn't he?
I know in past years, I don't know about this season.
Yeah.
He was really good in Jersey, and he made the jump over. He might have had a couple good seasons, and that was it.
That's what always surprises me, and I get with him because I think his family's from Minnesota. His dad played for the North Stars and all that. But like some of these guys, if you got a good thing going and you can tolerate the organization and you're producing, like I wouldn't say I'd be scared, but I'd be hesitant to want to leave and uproot that because it's like, oh shit, am I going to be able to do that in another location with a different group that I don't know? But
maybe he hated Jersey. He's
could
like,
be.
Jersey sucks. I'd rather go back to Minnesota.
Well,
didn't they just have a
good,
brand new facility at the time too?
I think they did.
Jersey?
Yeah. Is it the Prudential Center? Is that what
they had
built?
a new. Yeah, they had what's his name? Kovalchuk. They were playing on the line together. They were tearing it up together.
Yeah, that's right. And then he bolted.
Yeah,
he had
left.
Travis
He left too.
Sajak,
and then bolted. Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
probably what
Zajac.
caused like Parise to be, oh, who the hell am I going to play with now?
Yeah.
You know, Patrick Eliash is like 100 years old. And Brodeur can't play goalie anymore.
No, exactly.
All right, you guys got anything else?
No, go Leafs. God, if they blow this series, I'm gonna be bummed.
Shit,
You're
no.
gonna see
I'm
the
gonna
tears
be,
in real.
I'm gonna be
real
shit
time.
talking Mike. Tampa time, baby.
Oh my gosh, that can't wait, man.
I can't. I'm looking for. The Maple Leaf series was my number one series to watch, but now after this little conversation,
Oh,
I
hell
think,
yeah.
the Florida Tampa series might be a little more exciting to watch.
Tampa's nothing.
I'm in it now.
Just won a cup last year.
You're all of a
Get
sudden
your
Mike's gonna
Panthers.
have
Get
he's
your
gonna
kitty
have,
cat jersey on, Mike.
he's gonna have a Panthers jersey hanging up next time
Yeah.
we do the show.
Oh,
Good.
my
I'm gonna have
gosh.
I'll have my Lightning stuff on. That's my team. That's my team away from home because my dad lives there half the year pretty much, and
Does he?
Yeah.
every time I go over there, they're always on, and they're fun to
Yeah.
watch.
Is your dad?
They
Are your parents the snowbirds? Do they leave during the winter
My,
time?
my dad is a snowbird. No,
Okay.
he's got a condo in St. Pete, Tampa area,
Oh, okay.
so they're always on. Yeah, walk
Yeah.
down to the beach bar, and they're always on. And I got my Hawks hat on. They're like, "Oh, you guys beat us that year." I'm like, "Yeah,
Like, yeah, we did.
Name
Fuck
one
you.
player on the team. Name
Yeah.
one player on the team.
Stamkos?
Cut your off. Cut your head off.
Stamkos?
Vashashevsky.
Shishining.
All right, cool. Well, hey guys, that's all that we got for you tonight. Turn into the playoffs. Let us know what you guys think of the games. It should be interesting. You know, who knows? Maybe we got it all right. Maybe we got it all wrong. Who knows? But we'll catch you next time. We love you. Take it easy. This is the Tomahawk, and we're out.